I'm Kaiser. Yes, that is how you pronounce it. In this episode, I'm going to introduce you to my bike of choice, Nellie. She's a Kinesis Tripster ATR, a titanium adventure bike. I'll tell you how she's all set up for bike packing, and I will talk a little bit about my future upgrade plans, which of course I will let you join me on. After riding a carbon bike for a few years and all through my world record, I decided that I wanted something that was a little bit more versatile, that I could use on pretty much any kind of surface, any cycle route, and for any purpose. Because let's face it, cycle routes in the UK are not exactly smooth. Now, because the Tripster comes as a frame, I got Leisure Lakes to build me the bike, because they had been amazing throughout my world record, and they built me an absolutely fantastic bike. The first time I sat on it, I was just blown away at how much more confident I felt. It absorbs bumps really well. It's not so heavy that you can't get up hills. Well, at least it wasn't until I started modifying it. Equally, it's not so light that it's twitchy. Right, let me show you how it's all set up. The bike is set up with a SRAM group set. I must admit that I'm not so keen on the single shifter, where one lever is used for both going up and down the gears. But other than that, it's really great quality components. I replaced the tyres that Leisure Lakes set up with some tubeless gravel tyres. In the summer I had gravel friendly road tyres, also tubeless, but I had a bit of a nightmare with punctures. I think that was my own fault. So next year I'll be doing things slightly differently. Stick around on the channel to find out what that is. I fitted a dynamo hub with a battery and lights, front and rear. I love them, but the front light is not quite bright enough for pitch black riding, and it suddenly stopped working, so I need to figure out what's going on there. I may look at changing the setup a little bit, maybe a new light or new battery, or just somebody who powers it a little bit better. The light sits in this position over the bag because there's no room elsewhere, no room further down, as you can see. I like the modular approach to luggage, so I've also been looking at getting some forks with cage mounts on them so that I can carry some light but bulky items on the fork. But they're pretty expensive, the forks, so I've got a clip coming any day now to allow me to add some cages to my forks for a fraction of the price. I've got this Apidura Aerobar pack on the front, which is a great bag, quite spacious, fits nicely under the handlebars there, but not so great in the wet. So I'm looking to get a replacement once I get my new handlebars. If you have any recommendations, do let me know in the comments below. Bearing in mind my very limited space and the fact that I've got a light that needs to poke out somewhere. I'm looking to replace my handlebars with some flared handlebars, gravel bars with a loop on the top, also from Redshift Sports. That will hopefully allow me a little bit more space to fit a bag in. Right, my cockpit. I've got some aerobars from Redshift Sports. I've got my Garmin on here, which is on the top cap, and that is because this one I actually use for my drone controller. So when the drone is in the air, I can still control it. And the aerobars are also useful for my camera. I've got two snack bags. One is from Moosetreks and the other one is from Blackburn. The Moosetreks one is just fantastic. Didn't think that it would be possible for them to be that different, but it really is brilliant. I've got Redshift Sports dual position seat post with the aerobars. I love this setup. I fell in love with it prior to and during my record-breaking year, but I'm getting that new handlebar in January, so the aerobars will probably not be compatible with that handlebar. But the dual position seat post is a great way of getting up and over the aerobars on a normal road bike as opposed to a triathlon bike. Really freaks people out when they lift my bike up though and that thing pops up. I've broken it. Ugh. On my seat post is the one thing that I cannot and will not do without: my infinity bike seat. In my opinion, it's the most comfortable seat out there, and trust me, I have tried a great many. I have done a review of this over on Type 2 Twins, so head on over there and give it a squiz. There. I swapped my trusty Apidura saddlebag, the only one in their range that would fit my small frame, with the Tainfin Aeropack to accommodate basically more space and to allow for the easy addition of panniers when required. So you can put a thing on here, see, as you can see. I've done a separate Type 2 Twins episode for this as well, so make sure that you check that out. I sometimes use panniers. The ones I currently have are these SON ones. I think they're SON. I can't remember where I got them. They were cheap off the internet, but they're pretty heavy and not so waterproof. So I may be looking at getting some new ones at some point. So that's Nellie. Just want to add that I spoke to one of the people who were involved in the design of the frame, and it's a very, very interesting story, the way that it has been designed. You know, it's got a flat bit underneath here so that you can pick it up for cyclocross, that kind of thing. It's got the curved seat stays, and yeah, it's just a brilliant bike. I love it very, very much. That's it, isn't it? That's it. Now, these people can enjoy their downhill a bit more.